Okay, and we're back. So, um, as I said, we were doing things. We was moving, you know what I'm saying? We was getting people to ask us to come out, and in the midst of all of that, it was a day when I decided to try poetry. Because ever since I had been a part of the group, they was like, yo, bro, you should really, try to get in on this poetry, try to write something. And I was like, nah, because poetry wasn't me. I didn't know anything about poetry. Everything I ever heard about poetry was, either roses are red, violets are blue type shit, or talking about Africa and going back to Africa and all that. And it was stuff that I couldn't relate to, considering that I grew up in the 80s during the crack era. So there wasn't really much, any of that. So as life would have it, me and my family, my wife, and at the time, my newborn daughter, well, she wasn't newborn, she was about 2 or 3. We end up having to go into the homeless system. And so when you go into the homeless system, the first 3 days are the most nerve-wracking days you can come across, because you have to see if you can be placed. So they do a background check. They check with any family to see if you can stay there. Even if the family just say, yeah, well, they can stay on our floor, then you're denied. So we're sitting there and waiting to be called, and that's stressful in itself. So I'm sitting in this big ass room, and it's like I'm looking and I see families. They're breaking down. They're crying. They're starting to lose hope. And it looked like it was getting closer and closer and closer and closer. So I just grabbed my family, I hugged them with everything I had, but I needed to let it out, and I didn't want to yell or carry on and get us thrown out. So I wrote, and what I wrote was my first poem. And when I went back to rehearsal, because we used to have rehearsals, when I went to rehearsal and I let them hear the poem, they was like, yeah, you're ready.